we were always planning on coming on to talk about the show right before they were going to air, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like an extra. It was like going to be an extra episode before our regular coverage starts, which is
Yes.
going to be on Mondays. Every Monday after the episode
After the
at
episode.
9:30. So at the time that we were supposed to start tonight. I apologize for being a little late, but
No,
you
we're
guys
good. We're
are
good.
here, and the reviews are in. I was just saying that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been sending y'all reviews. Of course, my cat's here.
Oh.
Hello, Haley. But yeah, the first review I read was a because this is something I need to get on top of because apparently like YouTubers got to watch the whole season before it comes out.
Yeah, you told me something about that, which is actually insane.
Yeah, so I gotta email HBO, I guess, see if we can become reviewers. But yeah, so on the actually on the day that we were supposed to have this episode was when the review embargo was lifted. So that's when all the reviews for some of them were for the first episode, and other ones for the sorry, y'all. My cat has decided to be the biggest pill right now. Hello, Sydney. But yeah, the review embargo was lifted a few days ago, so we've got people talking about the whole of the series of this whole season.
Are they
And
supposed to be talking about that stuff?
well, yeah, they don't spoil anything, but they're reviewing it all. And
Ah.
the thing to know about it is, it's good news.
Oh, that's promising.
Is a cat truly a cat if it's not a menace? At least some parts of the day. They do sleep a lot. They do sleep a lot. It, you know what? It's crazy. I was gonna say it's crazy to see if a cat could be a menace in their sleep, but that actually happened to me recently. My cat made the loudest like yowl I've ever heard him make, but he was asleep. He did it in his sleep, and it freaked me out. It woke me up. I thought he was in pain, but no, no, he was just being cute. But anyways, back to these reviews. The first review I found was from Elio and Linda, who people should know are the OG fans. They run Westeros.org, and they have actually collaborated with George. They co-wrote with him World of Ice and Fire, and I think they even helped out with Rise of Ice and Rise of the Dragon. See, birds are the biggest menace. My parrot is too smart for his own good. But these people have Elio and Linda. They both have a, let's say they're controversial.
Mm.
Yeah, they've said some kooky things like the they were doing that old thing that we've seen recently where they were like, no, this character, Zarozo and Daxos can't be played by a black man. You know,
What?
yeah, it ruins the immersion because I forgot what the because he has pale skin, and I think they're called the milkmen, and it's like, yeah, so it's all anyways, but
Really weird.
but these are they ran Westeros.org. They run the wiki of Ice and Fire, and like I said, they're collaborators with George. They're insane, crazy book fans. So even they are enjoying the show. Um, Now, I will say an interesting thing that I've been seeing in this come up over and over again is, let me see if I can find the clip here. Um, they apparently there's a change that might be controversial.
Uh-oh.
Right, but I have not been able to figure out or speculate on what that could be. Um, one of another thing that's been shining through in a lot of the reviews is the reviews of Lionel Baratheon. Apparently, Daniel Ings completely steals the show, so I'm really looking forward
I
to
mean,
seeing.
Lionel is my favorite Baratheon. The Laughing Storm is easily my favorite Baratheon of any of the Baratheons, so I'll take it.
And he doesn't have. He only talks really in one scene, correct? Right? I think we
Pretty
see him.
much, but like it's what he does in the novella, like how he's taking everybody's like the part of their helms off and throwing them out to the masses. Like I just think he's funny.
But yeah, there is a
And how he wants to tweak Makar's nose.
I love that. Yeah, I love that line. If I if I could tweak Makar's nose in the bargain.
Like he's just
Yeah,
so
there hasn't been a
unserious.
trial. What is the line? It's like there hasn't been a trial of 7 in like so many years.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna miss this and the
Not,
chance to tweak Makar's nose in the bargain.
and I just love how unserious he is in like the most serious moments. Like it's kind of fantastic. Yeah, George says he's happy with the show, so I mean,
That's true. He so far has been happy with it.
although I mean, George also says he doesn't like love where House of the Dragon went, and I kind of disagree on that. So
I would caution people. I would just caution people to remember that he liked Game of Thrones and he liked House of the Dragon. So we'll see what happens with the show because they're already filming season 2, which is very exciting. That they already started filming season 2. They are currently on break actually because they're doing all this press. You've been seeing all the clips from the various red carpets. I think they were in Germany. Now they're in Rome. I don't know where they're going next. Maybe it's actually, yeah, they're going to be going probably to LA next, which is the thing, the night challenge. That was the thing that everyone was entering to win a chance to go to the premiere. Sworn Sword is filmed now. So Sworn Sword, they've apparently filmed, I think, like for 10 days, and then they're on break right now to do all the press for season 1 coming out, and then they're going to go back to filming after they're done with that. So I think after the
and I'm sorry, but Dunk and his long hair, like that's the Dunk that I always picture. So I was like,
so now that answers the question.
perfect.
Exactly, that answers the question. Because that was confirmed by the showrunner at one of these, I forget which one, but one of the premiere events, that they are currently filming season 2. So that is his hair. And you know what? That would make sense because I did kind of wonder if, and now I know Dexter does have a little bit of a spray tan.
Yeah, and the fact that he's bald, he wouldn't be bald for any other reason.
True.
He certainly wouldn't be bald just for the show premiere. Like, of course not.
No, that's true.
But
I wouldn't make anybody else do that.
I love Dexter's personality because he's so bold and out there. Like you can definitely tell, like he was born for this.
I really like every single clip we get because we've only been getting little tidbits from the show. Everything I see, they click, and it's I'm
really do.
So excited to see the rest of the episode. Which, oh my god, Sunday. It's almost here. But the no, guys, he's bald to hide his identity. Exactly. Nobody knows he's Dexter if he shaves his head. Let's see. I wanted to read this from this review that was written by Elio. Regarding the broader lore, The show integrates the Blackfire Rebellion, an event George had not yet conceived when he wrote the original novel.
Ooh.
But after introducing it in A Storm of Swords and the second novella, The Sworn Sword, as a major event that took place a decade in the past, it made sense to us that they would try to work it into this new adaptation. They
I
do
think
so
that's fun.
successfully, but maybe almost too much so, as they collapse the factional lines in a way that we find not particularly plausible and overly simplistic. To say more would be getting into the weeds, so we'll save that for after the season is done. There are other things. A scene that we would have liked kept, a different choice made at a key moment that undercuts a minor character, and a different choice that we think very strongly undercuts a less minor character for the benefit of another one. We can speculate to the moon what that could possibly be. Um,
Well,
he puts a picture of Makar right after that, so it's like, I wonder what changed.
I think it's very important that they made the decision to include at least some sort of reference to the Blackfire rebellions because, I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, this is something that George came up with after the Hedge Knight, but like it should at least be in season one of the show because I'm sure if George could go back and rewrite it, he would have included it.
Yeah, because it's at the center of the conflict of the Sworn Sword. Because the fact that obviously spoiler warning, but that's the whole thing. That's the whole twist on it, right? Is that
Mhm.
because he fought for the Blackfires, that it's not his river. It's not the Checky Water. Well, I guess it's still called the
It is.
Checky
Yes,
Water.
it is.
No, it
You
is. It's
will
still
not
called the
have my
Check.
Chucky water.
No, it's still called the Checky Water because
The
the
Mander.
Manderleys don't own the Mander anymore.
And there hasn't been a cast release seen at Casterly Rock.
Exactly. God, I really love
But
this.
she will not
This
have my Chucky water.
I was so cautiously optimistic in the whole lead up to everything, and just I didn't want to fully believe. I think I'm fully believe, and I think obviously we can fully believe that this is going to be a good show. Now it's just like a wonder: is it going to capture the normies? Because that these things live or die off of whether or not the normies pick up on the show.
Yeah.
Because if they needed just us fans, we'd have a lot more of these shows. But there's also hope because these are also much cheaper. Let me see if I can find the budget. I need to look that up.
Well, I also feel like, I mean, it's a really good story. I feel like it's one that everybody, even if you don't read the books, can enjoy. I'm fairly confident that everybody will see what we see in it.
So yeah, Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Their episode budgets averaged less than 10 million an episode, versus House of the Dragon, which were around 20 million an episode for season two.
Yeah.
So it's a lot, and those were more episodes. These are less episodes. They're shorter. I'm kind of like I get why, because it's like I remember this when I used to watch Game of Thrones. I'd watch Game of Thrones at 8 o'clock, and then
Mhm.
I'd watch Silicon Valley right after. That was at 9 o'clock to 9:30, and then so that's the thing. Night of the Seven Kingdoms is now the 30-minute program, so it's going to be playing at 9 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock, and it's just like, damn, you know, it is kind of like not as central to the night. It's not in that prime spot. It's a little later, but we'll see if it. I don't know. I'm trying to be pessimistic, you know, to kind of get it out of my system. I want this show to be popular because we need them to make 12 seasons.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay. Well, sorry. Let's catch up with the hello Skype.
Well, who knows? Maybe they'll get
Hello,
a better
Rachel.
time slot if it goes really well.
Well, I don't think they would change it because that's just the way they put it. You know, they put the hour long at 8 o'clock, and then they put
Yeah.
hour long stuff or half hour stuff at 9. Um, Also, give Rohan the biggest reason to hate Useless. If he didn't rebel, then his son would be. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's there's a lot of the things are complicated in that sense. Um, I think
No
the humor will pull a
dragons.
lot of the audience in. The humor. Okay, so the humor thing is another part of this that I'm interested in because that's something that the reviews are all kind of talking about is the humor of it. Some people have described it as like crude or blue. So I'm wondering, we'll see. We'll see if it works. I feel like thematically that could work. I'm trying to be optimistic about that. But yeah, hopefully the humor because there's apparently like a lot of humor from, there's obviously a lot of humor in the novella, but there's more scenes. They've added more scenes. We've seen um the scenes with the camp followers. All of those scenes are not in the novella.
Well, I also think too, it's just going to kind of depend on the quality of the acting. Like, I mean, we haven't seen really much of anything. So, like, is Baylor going to be able to draw you in? Are you going to be able to connect with that character as quickly as you do in the novella?
See, hopefully they're not Conan. What does that mean?
Yeah,
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Yeah. What is that referring to? Conaning.
I mean, no, there's not a great battle. I'd say the trial by seven is kind of intense, but there's no great battles.
Yeah, it's not a big spectacle show. There's one, primarily big action sequence, but it's still like pretty tame compared to Game of Thrones and House of the
Well,
Dragon.
I mean, I will say too, like, I mean, you'll see some other pretty cool fight scenes in seasons two and three.
Oh, right, the Conan thing. I remember that. Yeah, when they kept moving him around and it kind of didn't give him a chance. Yeah, I remember that. Okay. Yeah, I don't think they would. Hopefully, they wouldn't move it around. But it is like it's there's another thing, a big common thing in all the reviews that I've seen is that it is very unlike Game of Thrones, and most people are saying that's a positive. There's actually one review that said it was a negative, that they didn't like it.
No, they can F off, but I think that's great.
I think so as well.
I think we need to take a step away from Game of Thrones.
Right, because the Game of Thrones thing as well is not even a Song of Ice and Fire.
No,
Really,
that
it doesn't.
the show I try to keep telling people is that the show is so separated from the books. I mean, in season one, they tailored it definitely more to a Game of Thrones, but season two, they really just go in that direction, and it becomes extremely different.
We're not even talking about plot. We don't even need to talk about that. Let's just talk about like tone
Yeah,
and vibes and like set
you want it.
design and things like the aesthetics of it all were just completely different, you know?
You want a Night of the Seven Kingdoms to be lighthearted and fun and good. Like it's supposed to be a feel good story. Yes, there's some heartache. Yes, there's some sadness, but there's also an incredible amount of hope. And honestly, between like House of the Dragon, like you're gonna need that.
True. And I don't it's true. That's why I love House of the Dragon. You just reminded me. Like I like that everybody loses at the end. I like stories like that.
I don't like that the
You
dragons lose at the end. So
Well, they come back. They gotta lose. Yeah, come back, and then they come back, and then they fix the world. Lightbringer and such.
Yes, all the
Um,
things.
the hold on, sorry, Haley. I think that House of the Dragon's problem trying too hard to be Game of Thrones. I agree. They obviously this is the thing because it's like um HBO wants to brand everything, so and any company would do that. So, the House of the Dragon is somewhat limited in that sense. Obviously, like the castle needs to look the same, for instance. That's like an extreme example, but like, you know, one thing that I think we should be thankful for is that like the people in House of the Dragon like cared to try to make it more a Song of Ice and Fire while
Yeah,
still being
that's what
limited
I
by
like
that
about it.
Thrones look and that Thrones kind of vibe.
Like the magic that Ryan put into House of the Dragon is way more a Song of Ice and Fire esque than Game of Thrones ever was, because Dana and David decided, like, clearly from the beginning that we're not doing the magic stuff, we're not doing any of that. And they didn't.
And it's not perfect, but
No.
it's still comparatively it's a vibe shift, and I feel like also that that vibe is way more a Song of Ice and Fire. And I think this new everything that I've seen from this new show, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, says that they're continuing that vibe shift and taking it in a new direction, obviously because the show has a completely different tone.
Um, I don't think that Sansa well, I mean, it's hard to say because George is like, oh, I might kill her, I might not. Like, everybody likes her. I don't think George took into account how cool Elaine is. Elaine is cool. Sansa was kind of a pushover. Elaine is a
Let's
force to be
see.
reckoned with. So
One.
I hope that Sansa makes it, because like where her character is going, where he's taking her, I mean, I think she's cool.
Juan, do you think Ned would have told Robert the truth if he knew what was going to happen to his family? Probably. That's the thing. Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
tragedy of it all is that he's guided by his own, morality, and it did not give him the politically sound option. Let's see, the once and future king of Westeros, yeah. Have you guys read Germ's new interview? Yeah, we will talk about the interview eventually. I think we've already kind of peppered in a little some of the stuff that we were talking about, but actually, let me pull that up. Let me pull up the interview so we can talk about it later. But
The Duncan Egg novellas have very little magic, although I cannot say enough. Like, if you can read them, read them. They're not very long. They'll take you about a day to get through all three of them, or a couple of days if you want to kind of spread it out. But there's a little bit of glamour magic going on in you hear about it in the second book, and there's definitely some stuff going on in the third. But other than that,
yeah,
no.
Blood
The
Raven is
dragons are
around.
gone, so the magic is really, for the most part, gone.
We do have dreams, which is good.
Yeah, we have Dragon Dreamers, and we have A Thousand Eyes in One,
Let's see.
and a Moonstone Brooch.
I also appreciate House of the Dragon introducing the smaller houses. Think of Dug and Egg Stories have any magic, right? Big Elaine guy over here. Big Elaine. I haven't gotten to that part of the books yet. I'm only on Clash. Rohan. Um. Okay, so this fucking. Excuse me. I don't want to characterize it first. Excuse me. This damn. So George did an interview with the Hollywood Reporter, and it's lighting the fires of discourse on all across the internet.
Of course it
Um,
is, and I've seen like the same video being made by creators over and over and over again. I think Constantine even made a comment about that. Like, let's just keep repeating the same things from Ryan and George's beef, and it's like, yeah, y'all are.
yeah, I'm getting tired of. I guess the Hollywood Reporter is gonna bring it up, and George has a right to be critical, but man, I don't
No,
know.
like, don't get me wrong. Like, he can say whatever it is that he needs to say, but I am absolutely tired of every single creator on this app being like, oh, this is what's going on here, and blah, 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 blah. Like, you're all saying the same exact thing. We get it. We get it. George and Ryan had a disagreement creatively, and that's where we're at.
Yeah, they're
Ryan
talking
doesn't
about
seem
the.
to view it the same way George views it, so who knows?
Well, the thing is, like, he describes it further in this interview. Like, he says a lot of words. Let me see if I can find it, because he says some, like, he's kind of harsh.
He is very harsh. I think, and I mean, it seemed like when Ryan found out about his blog post originally, he seemed kind of really hurt by it because he was like, it seemed to catch him off guard.
So here, let me read this. I asked Martin carefully. I know you can't say much about this, but I was wondering how your relationship with Dragon showrunner Ryan Condal got so rocky, or wondering how. Um, it's worse than rocky, Martin says, looking miserable. It's abysmal. Um, Without getting into spoilers, Martin's gripes about Dragon stem from disputes over changes to his books, characters that impact key plot points. I hired Ryan, Martin says. I thought Ryan and I were partners, and we were all through, and we were all through the first season. I read early drafts of the script. I would give notes. He would change some things. It was working really well, I thought. When Ryan came to loggerheads with original Dragon co-showrunner Miguel Sapochnik, Ryan asked for Martin's support in their dispute and got it. Sapochnik left the show after season 1. Then we got into season 2 and he basically stopped listening to me. I would give notes and nothing would happen. Sometimes he would explain why he wasn't doing it. Other times he would tell me, oh, okay, yeah, I'll think about that. It got worse and worse, and I began to get more and more annoyed. Finally, it got to a point where I was told by HBO that I should submit all my notes to them, and they would give Ryan our combined notes. So he's. It sounds like he got cut out again from the writers' room, which is something that happened in the run of Game of Thrones after season 4. It The way he's talked about it in the past was that Dave and Dan just kind of stopped picking up his phone calls.
Well, I will say, like, with Dan and David, that didn't really surprise me at all because they started veering off the road in season 2 and then just completely derailing. Everything was falling to pieces in season 3. Like, I mean, it's just where the show was going. Like, they wanted to go and do their own thing from the very beginning, and it showed. But I don't know. With House of the Dragon, it's a little different because Fire and Blood is Maester fan fiction. So, I mean, creatively, it's Ryan's show.
And the here's the part that really got discourse going again.
Yeah, D&D,
Um,
to me, in my opinion, are far worse than Ryan. Like, I mean, yes, Ryan has made mistakes, but House of the Dragon is not perfect. It's
yeah,
absolutely not
I
perfect.
will be critical of House of the Dragon, but
But it's better than Game of Thrones.
it's
It's so
just better.
really.
It's better in so many ways than Game of Thrones. Um, Martin says he cannot say anything beyond this, but sources say Martin and Condal's relationship deteriorated further and came to a head during a Zoom call with the show's producers and some HBO executives. The purpose of the call was for Condal to present his vision for season 3. After Condal spoke, Martin detailed his many objections and allegedly declared, "This is not my story any longer." So there it is. Uh, absolutely everything that every unhinged like weirdo that just wants to yell at anybody who likes the show. That's all they needed was for them to for George to say, "This is not my story anymore."
Yeah, I feel like that's not helping anything by. I
Well,
mean,
it hasn't. It hasn't, and everybody and a lot of the most annoying people have been very loud today because of that, and it's um it's all over the place. It just we don't even have a trailer yet for season 3, and we're already it's already burning down. Um, at a certain point, I just don't care about these kinds of things enough to not enjoy the show.
I mean, they have to make it work for what they are trying to show, and people sometimes forget that Fire and Blood goes, beyond the dance and like, but they're not planning on getting into that.
It's unfortunate for
So
us who just wants to enjoy the show and separate the two. Yeah, because I even have my own weird like interpretations of Fire and Blood, so it's like I already enjoy a separate version of the book than a lot of other fans do. So I enjoy that. I try to enjoy what a lot of the fandom also enjoys. I also want to enjoy the show too, but they're all different things, and they scratch different itches. Um, what are some other things? Overall, this interview. Sorry, let me just kind of wrap up this part. Overall, this interview was kind of really sad because I do feel for George. He seems to be in a really bad place. They go over like how he's had personal losses with friends of his who've recently passed, and that fucking insane person at Worldcon who um, did that stupid thing about like, do you think Brandon will be able to finish your book series because you're not going to be alive much longer? Like,
because that guy
fuck you.
because that guy could touch anything in A Song of Ice and Fire, like fuck all the way off.
But also, just that fucking like, because you're not going to be around much longer. You got up and said that in front of a room full of people. Like, what is your problem? And apparently that's still weighing on him, and it's like that's fucking terrible.
Well, yeah, I hate it too because it's like, why are you talking about someone's mortality? Like he says he's doing good. He's like, I'm old. Yeah, like some things hurt, but like I'm doing fine.
Yep, that was earlier in the interview when he said that.
He looks like he's doing fine to me. I saw him at the premiere. He looks like he's doing fine.
But at least at least another thing in this interview, we got some juicy little tidbits that were, I guess, confirmed. We can, I guess, add them into So Spake Martin to talk about, because he relays an anecdote about how he'll be writing a Tyrion chapter, and then he'll be like, "Oh no, I guess maybe I'll write a Jon Snow chapter today," which you can figure Jon Snow chapters and wins.
He gave us a few little tidbits for wins in this.
And then he said something interesting about how the show apparently is influencing his decision to potentially keep Sansa alive, because
Which is crazy to me because the show's version of Sansa was so lame compared to his version.
I guess I wouldn't. I guess I wouldn't
looks.
say. I'm hopeful that all that means is just like he likes the idea maybe of keeping her around. Like he may have found something for her to do. You know what I mean? Like I don't want it to be.
There's so much potential for her character. Like
I don't want to. I did not take that to mean that he's taking plot elements from the show.
No,
I think he just liked that. I think he just like, this is the thing. Maybe it's something like he would be interested to actually see Sansa and Daenerys meet or something, because maybe Sansa doesn't make it to Daenerys coming to Winterfell or something. Maybe that's not is in his original plan, But he wants them to meet or something, I think it's something like that, but that's what I'd like to think. People are so insane to Gurm. He can't do anything without people coming to him. It's crazy that the show convinced him. I don't get that. A prayer circle for Arianne and Sansa. Yeah, and that's another thing about how the way he talks about House of the Dragon, because he talks about Maelor getting cut, but like they cut Arianne, they cut Victarion. They basically cut Euron because
yeah. I mean, Euron's
they got the wrong guy.
Euron's not Euron.
I mean, that actor's fine. It's just he's not Euron.
He's goofy. He's goofy as shit, and he's not Euron.
They cut young Griff. They cut John Con.
They cut Lady Stoneheart.
They cut Lady Stoneheart.
Rob's entire reasoning for technically betraying Walder Frey is completely and entirely different. Like, Rob Stark wouldn't fall in love with somebody and just be like, oh, change my mind. No.
Oh yeah, Rob's wife is still walking around and could potentially do stuff in the plot.
And the reason he married her is because he felt guilt.
So yeah, there's a lot of so it's just it's weird because he was never that harsh on them.
No, and he should have been. He absolutely should have been, because they didn't ruin his series, but in the way the masses look at it, they did.
That's true. Some people, I don't really respect these people. I don't really like this opinion. I don't really like this opinion of like saying that like because you know that it's gonna end shitty that you just won't even try it. Because it's like the books justify themselves existing even in an unfinished form. Like even if there wasn't a show, the books are great on their own, and you should Strong Belwas. They cut Strong Belwas.
Honestly,
they cut Quentin.
There's so much about the show that just didn't get done right. I mean, and I don't know, maybe that is kind of a curse, because I wasn't able to enjoy it past season 1 because I was nitpicking already in season 2, because I was like, oh, well, this isn't what it was when I read the books. Well, this is different. But I can say I really didn't start like not enjoying the show until like they did the whole thing with like Rob and Lady Talisa, and I'm like, who's this? Who's that? Like, when they started doing that, that's when I was like, okay, this is not going well.
This is one of those times where I'm like, watch the show, then read the books, because you'll enjoy both, and you'll enjoy both much better.
I watched season 1, and then I was so excited that I was like, okay, I gotta read these books, and devoured them, and then watched seasons 2 and 3.
I read Game of Thrones, The Storm of Swords between like 4 and 5. After that, I got really slow because I hate to say it, I did not like Feast and I did not like Dance because they were so boring. But now they're like my favorite. There's some of my favorite stuff is in both those books.
Oh, I devour those books.
I'm hating the show more I read the books. Yeah, that's gonna happen because there's gonna be some choices that are kind of understandable, some choices that are actually kind of good. Like Tywin and Arya don't chat, and those are some pretty good scenes. It's proof that they can create some cool things.
Although
they can move some stuff around.
They could have had that with Roose, because that's kind of the relationship she had with Roose Bolton. But
they can move stuff around and make it make sense. But then you're going to come across other changes that you're like, why do this? What's going on?
I agree, Juan, about House of the Dragon. Like, it is a lot easier to be like, oh, well, this is still really good because we don't know what is true and what is false in the book.
Well, it's not even what is true and what is false. It's that it's a summary. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff in there that is just you're told that it happened, which you know the way George writes it, it conjures up something in your brain, but that's totally you. That's something that you made up.
Mm,
Um, like he doesn't explain how two children um are able to just go to the dragons in the middle of the night. Uh, but they do it somehow, you know. You can think of a way. Um, so there's a lot of spaces in between those. I don't like the Tywin and Arya scene. Really, I don't like some of the content of that, but mostly it's because you know that they're not building up anything thematically in the show. It's got to do with Arya and gender because the show is awful on gender in a way
yeah.
that the book is not. So it's really shitty.
And it's also the fact that Charles Dance just makes Tywin look so much cooler than what he is in the books.
No, exactly. The Arya is not like other girls thing. Yeah, it's and
Yeah.
that's part of the way the show viewed gender, and that's something that's not in the books because the book is having different kinds of discussions about gender,
Yeah.
which are happening with Arya, and also happening with Brienne and with Sansa and with with basically every woman, and with with a lot of men characters as well. Jamie in particular.
I love the dynamic between Ariane and Duran Martell, like the complexities of that, like her being unsure whether or not like he wants her in that place of leadership, and then like not realizing that he has something else in mind of how they're going to get revenge and also make sure that Dorne is on top. And
Hell yeah.
like, but there's that like interesting like relationship aspect between the two of them, and like he respects her a lot more than she feels that he does.
Yes, there's Dornish chapters in Feast. Um, but also some in, well, it's a spoiler. There's some in, there's no, there's some in Dance too. That's right. Arrows and Hota. He's also has a Dance chapter. I forgot about that.
Mm.
But this fucking this well, was there something else that I needed to cover about this show that was coming out? We already talked about the discourse,
Hmm.
the shitty the George's interview, which was equal parts sad and annoying. I'm sorry. Um, let's see, because just the fucking state of the fandom, that it's not all his fault, but it's just so
I mean,
tiresome.
if we're gonna be honest here, a good chunk of it is his fault because he like keeps poking and fueling up the flames. Like, and I get it. Like, he has every right to say whatever it is that he needs to say about his opinions on the show. It just doesn't help because it just makes those people just do this.
Oh, and apparently there are 6 blog posts. There were 6 butterfly blog posts.
Oh,
So, um, I'm interested to read the blog post because I want to know what he's talking about, because that's the one thing that I'm kind of disappointed in, I guess, is that, like, if you're gonna do it, go all out and say the stuff, because like the first few examples just were not that. I guess he's just introducing the concept, because they're pretty weak to me. Like,
yeah.
they're not, like, those examples are not why you should be like that public and harsh about it, because it's like like what are you gonna accomplish, man? And it's like, I don't know, because there's a part of me that like used to be in that industry, and I just know that that kind of stuff that's unprofessional as hell. Like
Yeah.
if you've ever worked in any company that like where you have to talk to other people, putting somebody on blast like that, not only just in public in the company, but like in public everywhere, is like, that's like people consider it a dick move, you
Yeah.
know, and
Which I don't know. Hey, I don't know the situation. Maybe he deserved like to get slandered that way, but I don't
I
know.
just want him to post the germ cut.
Oh, hey, Constantine.
Hello.
But yes, I would really like to know what it is that bothered George so much because he does still seem to be really burnt up about it.
Yeah, I want to
And
read. I want to read the sixth blog post.
and Ryan's reaction seemed to be that of surprise. He seemed to be like genuinely hurt that that's how George felt.
I will say, Ryan's reaction did seem very PR. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's genuine, but whatever. It's what they're. But the thing is, like, they're not. They work in entertainment. They're not supposed to be like that genuine. I don't know. It's just like you're supposed to be genuine in a different way. Like after the show comes out or whatever. I don't know, because it's just like it's his show too, and it's making it. Anyways, it looks bad if the bosses are fighting. I don't want it to look bad. I want the show to be good, and I want it to go over well so that they make more of them. Damn it.
Yeah, that's my guess too, is that he had an opinion on something and they didn't agree with it. Like the decision to cut Maylor, I understand from George's perspective where that's really important to him that Maylor be included,
Bye
but
bye. See you
from
later.
but you have to understand like from like book to media adaptation, that may not necessarily like in the broader spectrum of where they're going with it and where they're ending the show, it may just not matter.
I'm confused because he said he was involved in season one, and a lot of changes were made. And yeah, maybe he just felt like he was listened to at that point. I so there's sorry, bud. I almost stepped on my cat. Excuse me. There there's so Preston Jacobs and Red Team Review on their podcast, they talk about they basically speculate that it's of all the reasons this kind of makes sense is essentially when George was making Game of Thrones, he he and D&D were kind of a little more on the same level. They were successful in their relative spaces and they were working together. And I guess maybe they followed his plot points a little closer. However well they did it is here or there, but maybe they just followed them. Meanwhile, with Ryan, George has made the best show ever, Game of Thrones. And I think he's more of a rock star mentality. So when this kid, basically, who he brought up and hired, now tells him no because I'm the boss and I actually have to talk to other people, like the other executives as well. Um, shit, what was I saying? So it George was probably more insulted, is probably what it is,
Yeah.
because he's a bigger deal now, and I think the dynamic he feels is different, and I'll be honest, I feel like I'm definitely getting a lot of that from a lot of the statements from the showrunner for Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Very deferential to George, like to kind of an absurd degree. Like he's saying things like George is the first person to read the scripts. You know, um, I'm not putting anything in there if George doesn't want it. Like he's sucking up to George in public. So it's like
Yeah.
it's a weird tonal shift given the blog posts. All right, let's see. George created a magical, fantastical world, and I feel like people are taking the magic away. True.
Yeah.
He's bothered because he hired Ryan. Yeah. That's sure it's difficult. Right, his other bosses. Yeah, and it's yeah, I do the same. Yeah, it's like I don't want that smoke.
Yeah.
But good God, it seems like it's paying off because it. Hopefully, this show takes off. It better fucking take off, God damn it, because it's much cheaper to make.
Yeah. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I have so much hope riding on that show being amazing.
Sunday soon. Okay, do we have anything else to cover tonight?
No, just that we are super, super excited about this. And
yeah, I think we covered the premieres, the big fucking interview. Good God, that fucking interview.
yeah, that
All right, y'all, back
that
to the
long
fucking
interview that we've done nothing but hear about all day.
All right, back to the fucking trenches, y'all. We need to go back and
Yeah.
fight our battles. We need to pick arbitrary hills and die on them.
Yes.
All right, y'all. So, with the new show,
Yeah.
comes new streams. So we're going to be covering all of Night of the Seven Kingdoms, episode by episode. We will be coming on here live the Monday after the episode comes out. So, and that'll be at 9:30 p.m. Central Time, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, and we will be recording these live, taking questions in the chat and responding to everybody. And then the episodes will also be available later in the week, and we'll clip out the fun stuff too for everybody.
And they will normally include Chelsea, Hallowed Harpy, and occasionally a guest.
Yes, we have some guests not lined up yet, but we're working some scheduling stuff.
Everybody said they're like, yeah, let's do it. We just haven't worked out in terms of scheduling.
We all want to do it, but yeah, we're gonna schedule. We're gonna schedule those dates soon. Anyways, thank you all for hanging out with us for this pre-show. See, and this will be available later on.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all later. Goodbye.